tua pa ia lo mātou ta mawhaalelani. O lau lava pio o mafu ai po ili nei tai au fau. I lo lātou wala whai mai whanunga leire pōng sāu mō mali atu. Awa mātou patia lo walofa siri ese ili nei tai au fau. E toi au mai ene nei mātango fie mātou te pe tu wha iai la ngona mamanatu a wasi ati na o si o mātou mālo Amerika Samoa lo mātou wali ie. O le vi inga le wha tai mal wha manu ono o au mea lofa au lo ta mau a inga o lo mātou o maua pia i le ola ma le mālosi o le poto ma le mālamlama lo e fo ina ono o mātou tiu te whai le aso ma le aso. Tau nu malmanuia i mātou si ui o nei vai aso lo mātou ori ie. Alo lava alofa lo tau muri pe lunga ia te mātou. Whaftai tere i lo wanga le lei. Au whaamanianga i lo mātou wala. Mātou wala au i lawa fiori nei aso lo mātou ori ie. Tātou ma oe lo mātou ta maa. E i umalmanuia i a mātou fongo tanga i nei aso. Wafo i mta au po le alau. Saa i nei aso lo mātou ori ie. Tau toa lua e loa nganga o mātou tangata. Ia mātou whaia whiringa ta tau. Na ia manui ai si o mātou watu nuu lo mātou ori ie. Whao ngā ina o mātou tangata. E whai mau mea whai ngā luenga. A wāne lau tele o mātou tangata lo mātou ori ie. Tālo i lau fio, tātou mafuta pēa ma oe. E manu iai mea uma mātou te whai o mātou te se mo mātou aleu. Alofa wha māngaulu i mātou toto lo walo Jesu Kerisa. Amen.
Ia, paftai atu i lau sunga le wao. O le whionga for sentoa mo le tawanga si tia e matari ai. Tulanga ngā ruenga i loilonga nei hoi tae au. Pata alofa fuimto e a whiloa i asfo i tātou maota. Na tulava ia e se asa tātou fono pa pene i asto na ia a ua bea nei aso e whai fwoi ma aso e whao popo i tūlanga o tātou aso ngā ruenga nei fwoi tau a whianga. Na tu lea toi titi o mai o i lewa i tātou mon mau. O tātou mon mau lewa i o le sunga le ia Michael Futiawa o ia leo o le mechanical engineer o lana ngā ruenga o le sau i nei e sau e mau ai umanga ruenga kau mechanical. O mechanical include ai le mele o le sprinkler system. Leo ngā sprinkler system a whape mō le whale. Leo ngā leo le te tala mai e le vai leo le tonu i potu umalawe na i mwhaiona wha te tina ese le mō pe wha tau fia le sa solo le mō isi vaenga o le whale. E ia le alarm fiti role mea lea ia ona tala umale o vai leo umana whatūlanga. Menga tau le sprinkler system. O palama o le ngai o inga umale o le vai la fuai e ma le vai e sau tonu me siwo o sao ma folo le ata. O le isi ngā luenga o le mea lea o air condition. O vaenga i e tolu o le ngā luenga. O le tātou mota FONO. E i lalo le baba inga le sunga le Michael Futiawa. O langa asia singala neta au. Ia na malanga mai pole stof ia nafi ma nei ma la so fo to fo iai ai fa tsai o le la mo le ava no en fa iai na su mai i ena te fa matala mai nga po ani si fa fita o le lofta iai mga luenga ia o ia sa o va inga luenga ia o mana fa e isi company o man subcontract ia nei le wila o ma le o ia le palama ma le air condition ia fa pe fo i ma sprinkler system. Le lala sumai sunga ia Michael Futiawa. Ia mo sava no e sa no mai. Ia mo foi da sava no fionga sentoa malu tatu mota ni tai a pesi ni ai le mechanical engineer le sa o lo subcontractor de sunga ia lively. Mr. Futiawa, Jawa. Good morning, Mr. Futiawa. If I pronounce your name right, not, but excuse me. On behalf of Honorable President High Talking Chief Olo Furuin, we have our Vice President today to conduct our meetings. Honorable Senators, we welcome you into our Senate chamber this morning. We appreciate your making time out of your busy schedule to address some of the issues in regards to the mechanical part of this building. And we hope our discussion this morning will shine some lights and hopefully will help to untangle any problems that they do have. And hopefully you will help us out to get this project completed in timely manner. So without further ado, I will give you a chance to introduce yourself, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm Michael Fujikawa, and I am from Honolulu. I work for Notkin, Hawaii, and I am the representative of Notkin, Hawaii. And we go ahead and design the mechanical, plumbing, and also fire sprinkler systems for the FONO building. And I am here in America, Samoa, to conduct my site visits in regards to the inspection of those three systems to make sure that the subcontractors and contractors are installing the systems per plan and per spec. And yesterday, I had the chance to walk through the site with Kuline and Paramount. Kuline doing the AC and fire sprinkler system, and with Paramount being the lead plumber on the project. And so I took my time out yesterday to go ahead and walk through FONO for most of my day to go ahead and do my inspections. I'm going to be doing a few more inspections after this meeting to go ahead and finalize my reports and other things to go ahead and report back to the architect and also the contractors for any deficiencies that we end up seeing out there.
Okay, thank you for your comments on what's going on in regards to this project. Can you, kind enough to give us what's the latest? Can you see any difficulties and see where we stand as far as those three items that you mentioned?
Okay, so I'll go through each of the systems one by one. So for the mechanical systems or the AC systems out there, I see that there is preliminary work in regards to constructing ductwork and putting up AC zone systems for the spaces in FONO. And so I ended up seeing that most of the AC systems, air conditioning systems for each of the spaces were hung. The ductwork is on site, but is not hung or installed. And so we also have the mechanical shed that's on the side of the FONO wing, where we're going to be housing our air condensers, which is the other part of the split system that we're going to be using for the building. And those are not installed as the shed itself is not installed. The other component to that is the trench that runs from the shed to the building to go ahead and run our refrigerant lines from one system to the other. And those have not been installed either at this point in time.
So what is the schedule on that? What's the timeline?
So in talking to Kuline, in regards to the ductwork, they're going to be installing it in the next 2 months or so. I think they should be done, according to Kuline, maybe in 3 months. And then once the duct systems are put up and installed, they can go ahead and close up the ceilings and finish off the finishes and whatnot in the spaces.
Are the material already on island? Are the condensers here and so forth?
I believe so, yeah. So the FCUs, which is going to be inside the building, and also the condensing units is on island, to my understanding. They just need to be installed.
So the timeline from the cool line just for the AC is about 3 months down the road?
2 months.
About 2 months down the road?
How
about the sprinkler system?
So the sprinkler system is the next system that I went ahead and observed, and those systems include the piping for the first floor. I saw was installed. For the piping itself, it is just hung, but it still needs seismic bracing to be installed on those systems. As for the second floor, there's no piping installed currently. There also is no sprinkler heads installed, so it's just the pipe work itself. The other part of the fire sprinkler system is the fire pump, which is also going to be housed in the FONO shed with the AC equipment, and that hasn't been installed, but to my understanding, it has been ordered, but it's not on island at this point in time.
And what's the time frame on that for the materials from off island?
So I think you'd have to follow up with Paramount on that one there. I wasn't able to get any additional details in regards to that shipment date. But it has been shipped to my understanding, but I'm not sure at what point in time it will get on island.
Okay, what kind of coordination that you do have on that part compared to what the other part of the billings?
So in regards to coordination, we do not have a big part in that. It's mostly on the contractor side to go ahead and order and make sure the shipments come here on time and make sure that they install in a timely manner to meet schedule. What we do as consultants is we provide design drawings and we provide assistance in regards to the design, but most of the scheduling and shipping and the logistics is the contractor's responsibility.
Are there any other deviations from the original plan based on that mechanical portion of this job?
Not that I see. So Kuline ended up providing us drawings, shop drawings, for us to review on our side, and the shop drawings are based off of the as-built conditions that they have in the building, and they ended up providing as-built drawings or shop drawings that meet our spec and design, and we approved them for construction. And so with that approval of that shop drawings, the contractor, being Kuline, can go ahead and utilize those shop drawings to build ductwork and to install their equipment accordingly.
So based on your observation on what's going on here, is this your first time being here looking into this job?
So I did come here in 2022 when the foundations were poured at that point in time, but this is my second time.
It's your second time?
Correct.
Okay, is a big improvement between then and now, or is still?
No, a lot has been done in those 2 years. I came in May 2022, and so it's been about 2 years, and a lot has been done since I've been here. In regards to more so structural progress, a lot more has been done. But in regards to AC, they're kind of just, as the structure is currently up right now, Kuline and also Paramount have their subs going in to go ahead and put in those pieces of equipment now that the structure is done.
So what kind of target dates and we're looking at in order to finalize your part and hopefully the completion of this project?
So to my understanding, they are looking to finalize the project, well, with it being the first phase, I think in June, talking to Paramount. And for that to be completed and for the closeout to happen, I do need to do a final inspection. And with that final inspection, I can go ahead and confirm that what they've installed meets their shop drawings and our design. So, in May or probably like early May timeline, I probably have to come back out and do a final inspection on my side to make sure that everything is up and working and installed properly.
So besides the upper part of the second floor, where you said that nothing's being hang on those sprinklers piping in, the majority components of the AC and all the other stuff's already being on site or
yes,
on island?
On island for the. So on site, there's the FCUs, which is inside of the building itself, and then the ACCUs are on island, but they're not on site, to my understanding. Because I didn't see them out there when I was walking around the ACCUs.
Well, you do know that we're very concerned about this building.
Understood.
It's been almost 6 years or more for this building. I know it was during COVID and so forth, but that doesn't take us away from our target dates.
That's
okay?
correct.
Okay, thank you I'm going to give it to the senators now, if any of the honorable senators have any questions, so we can go forward. Yeah, well, more no if you want to is if you saw no if you price of city, yeah, more no need to out. If you want to ya Malepule.
I feel like you want to take committee more love no, if you're on motor. I feel if you want to talk to my superintendent. Good morning, Michael.
Morning.
It's okay if I call you Mike?
Yes.
So, the sprinkler system, plumbing, air conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
it's all done by local vendors, right?
I'm not. I think Kuline is based out of Fiji, to my understanding, in talking to them. But I believe, they're local contractors. I believe. I'm not sure the details, but yes.
What I'm saying, what I'm asking is, all the mechanical part of the building, the jobs and the work is done by the local contractor.
Mm-hmm.
So your purpose is for inspection, the quality of work they do.
That's correct.
So how does it look so far?
With that being said, not a lot of the mechanical equipment is installed. The main part of the mechanical equipment is ductwork, dampers, diffusers, refrigerant lines. As of right now, they just have the FCUs hung, the fan coil units that provide the cool air. But attached to those fan coil units, there's ductwork and other accessories that are not installed as of right now. So at this point in time, I didn't have a chance to install that aspect of work.
So you're also responsible for the final inspection of the building?
Yes, that's correct, in regards to those systems.
I got one question about the sprinkler system.
Okay.
What type of system are they putting in on the building?
So they're putting in what they call a wet pipe fire sprinkler system.
What system?
A wet system, that's correct. And it consists of proper coverage of spaces with fire sprinkler heads, and it is served by a fire pump that is also in the FONO shed with the mechanical equipment. What the purpose of that fire pump is to provide adequate pressure to the system in case there is a fire or a head goes off. And so
what kind of recommendation are you making? You're doing most of the area around the FONO building at the FONO is low pressure area with the water pressure.
yeah.
So
And-
what type of recommendation would you recommend for the sprinkler system?
So we did know about the low pressure initially when doing our design, and therefore we ended up going ahead and putting in a fire pump. And so what a fire pump does is it goes ahead, it increases pressure from its source, which is the street or the city water, and it goes ahead and boosts up that pressure so that ensures that we have proper pressure being delivered to the sprinkler heads to ensure that we have proper coverage in case of a fire.
So I'm concerned about that because of the, they haven't installed the piping for the second floor yet. So it's gonna take a lot of pressure to push that water up that higher level.
That's correct.
So
So we did do hydraulic calculations were completed, and we are supplying, the pump is sized for 250 GPM and also for I think 100 feet of head. And so with that size of pump, we're able to go ahead and provide that adequate pressure even to the second floor of the building. Yes.
well, I guess that's all I have to ask. I'm not going to pressure you about the completion date on the building, because I know you got nothing to do with that. It's all up to the contractors and and how fast they do the work. But I just want to make sure that you'll be doing your part, make sure the quality of work. And one thing about the piping system, the wet system, the humidity and all that in Samoa, it's a major problem with the that sort of sprinkler system type with the wet system. What if we recommend a dry system for the top floor, second floor?
So with a dry system, there's additional components that are needed, and it's going to add cost to the building. With that being said, I'm not sure it's a proper application. We do design per code, and per this type of building, and also this building occupancy, a wet system is what is called for in this situation, and that's what was installed. But with that being said, in regards to corrosion, we do have special items called out in our spec that provide, like painted heads in regards to providing corrosion protection to the heads themselves. We also have galvanized sprinkler piping, which in turn, provides additional corrosion protection in regards to this system.
I know we're pushing real hard for the completion date, but you make sure that the quality of work on your part, we'd rather have a safe building than trying to get the building finished right away without all that. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Mr.
understood. Thank you.
Kuchkau.
Right.
I've
Pionga Sentoya to Yasina.
Te le lau fionga te kobit. Tolo foi le pai malu le fionga sentoa. Na sui president. Is very sunga tato pul mau. E folinga mai ta ua na luenga a sheri. Ai pe le o maua ai le nganga moni ma le nau tele. On ma malu le tato mauta i le aso ma le teime e uma e ngā luenga. Wai whalangolango alanga ia inspection le. I teime e uma e ngā luenga at Konkaraki. Ai tā ua tele i la ngā luenga e whalalave e le o maua i le ano tonu ma le tulanga tonu o loo fia wa sila fia e mamalo le mauta. Le aso tonu ma se vai teime tonu e uma e ngā luenga wai e langa ia inspection e fo lava le teme fai atu ai o uma lea mea ai pe o bea na le tau o tele tatu whalongo atu le mechanical ma le technical i tu o ngalu ai le a fia tele le tatu fo i ngalu ai tau lava na mai le Konkaraki i le sunga i Paramount vanga le Paramount pe le ulea tau fi aftai tele mo le no
Hey, Sentoya FONO.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
I just want to ask you about air condition, the condensation that will build up inside the ducts in the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Because of high humidity, it's going to build up a lot of condensation, and it's going to leak into the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. So, in regards to condensation on the ductwork, in our design, we call out for wrapped duct, and what that wrapped duct does is it insulates the ductwork from the inside cold air that's running through the ductwork itself and the outside conditions. And with that wrapping, it provides this insulation for air and also for temperature not to be in contact with the cold duct itself, which would go ahead and minimize or even eliminate condensation in practice. And that's what we've seen in Hawaii. We go ahead and use the wrap duct to go ahead and prevent any condensation within the building itself. Another consideration to that is that with the building as a whole, we have conditioned spaces in which the duct work runs. And so with that being said, there's cool air as around the duct because the duct itself is in the conditioned space, which is in the building envelope itself. And with that being said, you do not have, in a lot of cases, in most cases, hot, humid air being in contact with the duct itself, which will in turn eliminate any risk of condensation that you might see around the ductwork.
That's a big problem.
Yes.
So you tried this system already?
Yeah, so, Hawaii has similar conditions as we do in American Samoa, maybe not as humid, but we do go ahead and put that into practice in our designs, and we are successful and we do not have condensation within our buildings ourselves. The other component to the system that we've designed is that we go ahead and provide pre-treated outside air into the building. So you guys need outside air into the building for health reasons to limit the amount of carbon dioxide and whatnot. But instead of providing untreated or unconditioned outside air, we have outside air units which take in air from the outside, hot, humid air. We throw it through a fan coil unit, which then takes out all the humidity, and we deliver it to the spaces. And we are providing this less humid air to the space in which, people will reside.
I hope it works.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is your Piongosin ole superstene?
Good morning, Michael.
Morning.
Now, if the building come to the final stage, were you gonna be back here to do your final inspection, make sure everything's intact?
Yep, that's correct. So that's a part of the procedure in regards to the closeout of the building. So I need to be back on island to go ahead and do my final inspections. And they call it a final punch list, in which you go ahead and make sure that each of the component systems are installed properly, or even installed for that matter.
And if you find one is not effective, what will you do?
So with the punch list itself, we're going to go ahead and note it down, and we're going to go ahead and put it into a report. With that report, it's going to be listed as a deficiency, which would be then delivered to the contractor for them to go ahead and remediate and fix. And so we will not sign off on the drawing until those fixes are completed.
I'm glad to hear that, because that's when most of the things happen now.
Yeah.
When the building's about finished,
Mm-hmm.
and you write them an efficiency of what they did, then you leave, and there'll come the day that will never happen.
Yeah.
And then leave the building
Mm-hmm.
back to the work. But if you, like you said, you're gonna be back and do the final inspection and find this, you're gonna be right here while they're fixing that stuff, or you're gonna leave and come back?
I'd probably leave and come back at that point in time to give them time to implement the fix. And if I'm not here, to go ahead and observe that. If I don't have time, we do have our on-site construction managers. I think John, that works with Mark, to go ahead and provide that documentation for me in regards to photos, or more even videos, to make sure that the system is properly installed.
This final inspection you have, you're gonna make sure you turn the air conditioner, that everything's run smoothly? Turn the sprinkle?
That's
and
correct.
everything?
So I'd be, taking temperature readings, ensuring that air is coming out of the ductwork in the appropriate amount to make sure that you provide adequate cooling for the space.
The sprinkle system,
Yes.
in each of the office, the senator's office, there'll be a sprinkler inside there, or just the main building?
So both of the buildings will have sprinklers, yes. So also the office wing.
But not inside the senator's office?
The senator's office.
We have office right here, do you see the extension?
So that, on our design drawings, that's considered the FONO wing, is what we're calling it. And yes, we will have sprinkler systems in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want, I guess that's malfunction, and I don't want to take a shower inside that office when you,
Right,
okay, thank you.
understood.
No mo pela va no of yung sintoa kia.
Waka ko ngang. Ia ngang wa ai ku siari ia lo fa kingo lang ngalue ngang sawai. Ole mau lea ngaka mau kingo lo la ia. Sa uma ngambe ia.
Right.
Ia masao langa. Pe pale ka ko ke lu.
Right.
Ko sia ulea fa kwang ar kaya. Awa aka ko ngang ngem ka ngo ngang. Pian poko vale ling singia poko ngangu ai vale kalar ngak.
Ale.
Así
Yep.
lo. Ya, le mau nga, ngalo
Right.
pa lo.
Wei mau man fa lo le ta out. O fa lo ina fo. Ya. Mr. Fujiwara, okay. You heard some of the questions that we have and the concerns on what needs to be done. Was your company involved in designing this part of the building, all the mechanical parts?
Yes, we were.
So okay. So so your company was doing the design for all the stuff, and now you're coming back to check and see the follow through what was in the design.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned that somewhere around what, June it's going to be finished? That's your part.
Well, I thought in talking to Edmund from Paramount, they had mentioned that the first phase would be completed by June, to my understanding.
I mean, the building complete by June, or your part is going to be complete in June?
I believe the building, to my understanding.
Okay, so you're going to be here before that time.
Right, that's correct.
Okay, that's what we want to find out, because, okay, when we're finished today, the mechanical engineers,
Yes.
Can you please submit us a copy of the report that you submit back to Lively? Because he's
Yes.
coming back on the 5th, so we will talk with him. We want to make sure that the structure part of this project is not hinder any of your work. That's why we want to make sure,
Yeah.
because that's why we want to talk with you first. We keep asking you, see if all those materials are in place. I mean, here on the island, that is the main concern of all the contractors, is no material on island.
Right.
Okay? So
Right.
thank you on behalf of the senators this morning and the chamber.
Thank you.
We thank you again for taking your time off to come here and discuss, so we can share some lights on what's going on in the building, and hopefully we'll get this building finished fast.
I hope so too.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
Have a safe trip home when you go back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Have a nice day, yeah? Ia whaftai atu tato whionga sentoa nei tai au. Pea fwoi ranga leo whatu main mau ia re fwoi seisio si mai se au te manatu i le seisio tato e whiwhi whanongalonga fwoi pea whawhonga o nei mea i o le pātira ngaruenga lea. O isi ngaruenga e tauna mautu ai re i umare ngaruenga. Mea lea leina mai fwoi nei, o mo fwoi nei avano e moisona ia wano e sau e tau mai ei po anisi mea o ngaruenga. O nisi of siri dan siri nei tai au tu lango pe sa nole a fionga ya mala puli o le dry male wet site ya o le dry ya o le chemical o human beings le involve ai te lor mena le nei design papel ta to me le le wo mo ta to ilonga nei tai au ya te watu fa tai ma fa malon fionga sentoa